Hello and welcome to EllAstrology, and today I'm going to tell you guys what my astrological take is on the coronavirus. So I'm filming this video on the 7th of February. It is now about 6 minutes to 4 in the afternoon, and as of right now there are 31,535 coronavirus cases, 638 deaths. So the coronavirus was first reported in Wuhan, China on the 31st of December. On the 31st of December, Saturn was at 21 degrees in Capricorn and Pluto was in 22 degrees Capricorn. Around the 31st of December, the orb would have been quite close to the actual exact conjunction. Saturn has a 29-year orbit, which means that there is only a Saturn and Pluto conjunction every 29 years, which makes this specific conjunction quite a rare one. Saturn and Pluto conjunctions are very powerful. When these conjunctions happen, you will see really big changes in your political structures, in governments, in the world's economics, and as well as specific advancements that will happen in technology. The exact conjunction between Saturn and Pluto happened on the 12th of January. So it was on the 11th and the 12th of January when the World Health Organization received a detailed summary and detailed information about the coronavirus outbreak in China. So on the 12th of January, when the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction happened, was the same day when the World Health Organization received the official stats of the coronavirus. And this is when the World Health Organization basically became aware of the seriousness of the virus. China also shared the genetic sequence of the coronavirus on the 12th of January, on the day when the exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction happened. This was a very relevant day because this day the information was released for other countries to be able to know how to identify the coronavirus in patients. So the 12th of January was a very, very significant day in terms of the events of the coronavirus, as well as the astrological event of the Saturn and Pluto conjunction. Now, I believe that the Saturn and Pluto conjunction did have a direct impact on this coronavirus. So this is a chart that I generated for today, for this exact moment, and this is on the 7th of February, and I generated this chart for the location of Wuhan, China. This is a very interesting chart because, as you can see on the bottom, Pluto is in 23 degrees, Saturn is in 25 degrees. There's also quite a bit going on in the sign of Pisces, and as you know, Pisces is the sign that does represent hospitalization, hospitals. Pisces is the sign that represents afterlife. Now, the black moon Lilith is also in Pisces, and it is very, very close to a conjunction with Neptune. So the negative things that are associated with Lilith is unreasonable fear. And right now, the world is experiencing unreasonable fear in terms of possibly having to become hospitalized or becoming sick. The reason why I say that this fear is unreasonable is because the amount of cases that are around the world, apart from China, are very minimal. So if you are in Wuhan, China, then obviously you can be fearful because you are in the epicenter of this virus. However, for example, I'm in South Africa and there have been no confirmed cases in South Africa whatsoever, but South Africans are literally busy freaking out. It is important that we keep our heads screwed on and we don't start fearing things unreasonably, because when we start feeding energy into something as a collective, we actually will end up manifesting it. So if as a collective we fight against this and we also keep a positive mindset, then we won't let the fear overtake us. Another keyword associated with Lilith is rapid change, and I feel that with Lilith in this specific position, it is enforcing a rapid change in the mindset of individuals in the world. So people are becoming a lot more conscious now. As human beings, we need to go through a massive consciousness shift for things to start really improving in this world. So what's happening now is the entire world is focused on making money. The entire world is focused on economic growth. One of my favorite spiritual leaders, Teal Swan, she basically says that right now we are in the spiritual dark ages, and that is something I do believe, because people are basically ignoring their emotions. They're ignoring their actual physical and emotional needs in order to adhere to a system and the pressure that the system places onto them. So for example, if you have a very demanding 9-to-5 job, then the chances that you're getting enough sleep is probably slim. The chances that you're able to follow a healthy lifestyle, eat healthy, exercise regularly, and basically put your health as a top priority is very slim. You basically have to focus on making money, getting the job done, and what I experienced when I was working is that you have to put yourself last, and you have to put the system, the job, and the money first. And what ends up happening is you run down your immune system, you run down your entire energetic field. And if a virus like coronavirus has to present yourself when you're in this run down, exhausted state, you will be vulnerable. So I do feel that a very important reason why this virus is happening is to show to people that they need to become aware of themselves. They need to become aware of their bodies, their mindsets, their own energy fields, how healthy they are, and actually stop putting money first, stop putting the system first, stop putting economic growth and financial success first. Because if we're going to be putting these things first, people are going to get sick and people are going to die because they're not going to be paying attention to their health. And the thing is, because employees in poor countries can't not go to work, because they can lose their jobs, they can lose their livelihood, they will put their lives at risk for money. They'll put their lives at risk for survival. And I think that what's very important about this coronavirus that's happening now, and especially if you look at the astrology of it, is we need to realize that we need to stop doing this. We need to stop putting money first. We need to stop putting material success. We need to stop putting economic growth. We need to stop putting our work first. And we need to actually start considering ourselves. We need to look at what we need. So for example, if this virus has to spread to other countries, what will you do if you are one of those people who's stuck in a situation where you have to work for your livelihood, you have to work to survive? But if you go to work, you run the risk of possibly getting a deadly contagious disease and dying from it. What do you do? What do you do in that situation? So I do believe that society is going to look at ways to restructure how we do things in terms of how we're obsessed with economic growth in this world, and how we're basically just completely disregarding the health and well-being of the human beings in this world for money. I do feel that on the 21st of March, with Saturn moving into Aquarius and the days leading up to this and around this, there is going to be massive breakthroughs with this coronavirus. Aquarius is a sign of change. Aquarius is a sign of innovation. And Saturn is a planet that represents structure. It represents the foundation of something. Now, when Saturn moves into Aquarius, you can expect the exact foundations and structures of society to be shaken up, to be changed. And I do believe that this coronavirus, along with this Saturn in Aquarius transit that's happening on the 21st of March, is going to push society to have to make changes. To have to make changes in terms of how we do things in our day-to-day life. So are we going to keep putting the health of the human beings on Earth at risk for economic growth? Or are we actually going to start considering the health and well-beings of the human beings? When Saturn enters Aquarius, it's also going to come to a very close square with Uranus in Taurus. This Saturn and Uranus in Taurus square is going to cause us to question these things. We're going to question, why are we sacrificing ourselves? Why are we sacrificing what's best for us just to actually make money so that we can survive? We're going to question this, and we are going to look into restructuring how we go about this. Now, my last point I want to get at is Uranus is currently in Taurus. Uranus is the planet that represents changes. Wherever Uranus goes, you can expect radical change. Taurus is an earth sign that represents material resources. So I do feel that with Uranus moving into Taurus, there's going to be rapid change in terms of how we go about getting our material resources. We aren't going to continue getting these things the way we're used to. We're going to think of new, innovative ways to acquire the resources that we need. And the next 6 years until 2026, when Uranus is in Taurus, we are going to reshape this. We're going to reshape how we go about acquiring these resources, and we're going to consider how we can actually go about acquiring it without putting people's health at detriment, without putting people's lives and happiness at detriment. So the last time Uranus was in Taurus was during the Great Depression. This was from 1934 until 1941. This time we were also basically on the brink of World War II. And around this time, the world and society went through major changes in terms of its structures. When Uranus was last in Taurus, Roosevelt also implemented the Social Security Act. This act basically mandated that society takes care of people in need and that society doesn't ignore the people that are in need. Now, I personally feel that this Uranus in Taurus this time around is going to trigger this again. It's going to trigger us to become aware of those in need and how we go about helping those in need as well. If you look at who is in need, the people that are the most in need are the elderly and the people that are young. If you look at the people that are the most at risk for coronavirus are the elderly and people that are young because their immune systems are compromised. We need to start focusing more on the needs of the elderly. We need to start focusing more on the youth. Okay guys, so that's just my astrological take on this coronavirus. Like I always say, please do not believe anything I've said unless it resonates with you, as these are only my opinions and my observations. If you have anything to add to what I've just said, please let me know in the comments. I really am open to discussion regarding the astrological influence of this coronavirus. I find this entire topic incredibly interesting. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see some more astrology content, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.